and say hello and welcome. Day 14 of the feast. And today we're really excited to introduce you to Terry Breeze. He is someone that I'd have to say a teacher's teacher because he's someone I've been going to help me navigate my interior with awareness, with kindness. And he actually gave me the affirmation, which I use and pass along freely. I am an entirely good person. Now, I invite you to say that to yourself. I am an entirely good person. And when I did this with a friend this last weekend, she had all kinds of things come up like, no, I'm not. Look what I've done. Look what I did. Look what I will do. Look what I have done. Look what I'm tempted to do. And I said, just try it on. Just try it on. So I invite you to try on that affirmation. I am an entirely good person. Okay. Now, Terry, that has changed my life, and I'm so happy you're sitting here. Terry's from outside of London. He is someone I see every other week to take me into more self-awareness and peace. And I just, as a whim, invited him to come and share with you a meditation that you might really enjoy. So, Terry, I'll let you take it away to introduce yourself and the meditation or whatever you'd like.
Hello, how you all doing, folks? My computer's only showing a few of you for some reason. I'm trying to get it to show. As more people have come, it's gone up, and some have disappeared off the top. I've never seen it do that. Oh, now I've only got me. I've
Terry,
got
there are 15 of us on the call right now, and many more will be listening to the recording.
me. I
I
want to see
will
it. Oh,
I will unpin you then.
I
Do you
can
like
see
seeing yourself or do you
it. Mind seeing myself too much, but I'd like to see the people.
Okay, let's see what I can do.
Okay, well, I can see some people. I think I might be seeing you all, but some heads are cutting. I've never seen Zoom do this before. So, this is exciting. I like the fact that people are from different places. And I'm tempted to try and get everyone to tell me where you're from, but it'll take ages. So maybe at the end, if we feel like we've got time to do.
Well, Terry, I can ask you, ask anyone here, and that's how we create community, to go ahead and put in the chat where you are sitting right now so we can all get a
Okay,
sense.
stick it. Oh, yeah, if you feel like sticking it in the chat, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Whereabouts in the world you are. I like the feeling that we're connected and it to each other.
If you can't see the chat, I can read it to you. We've got Merseyside, UK,
Merseyside,
Dorset.
Nottingham, Michigan.
Yeah. Georgia, Nottingham. Yeah. Ocean City, Maryland, Dorset. Very good. Thank you for being here and saying hello. I'm going to stop talking, Terry, and let you start guiding a meditation.
Okay, so I'd like to do, with your permission, is what I always do when I get a new person come as a student or client or whatever you want to call it. And that is start from the very beginning. I imagine that all of you are quite experienced meditators and have done lots of different approaches to meditation. I like to start right from the very beginning, every day. I think in Buddhism they call it beginner's mind, don't they? And I like to invite you to just listen to my voice as if there was nothing else to do except just listen to this old guy's voice. I leave spaces between phrases, partly deliberately, partly because I am a slow thinker. I never know what I'm going to say next. Partly deliberately, to give us the chance to notice those spaces, that silence. And I'd like to invite you to imagine that you're 4 years old and you're sitting in kindergarten, nursery school. It's the end of the day, you've been playing, having fun, splashing water, laughing, running around. And the old teacher said, okay, everyone sit down on the mat. And I'm just going to read you a story before it's time to go home. Just imagine yourself in that position, cross-legged on this comfy old mat, a bit tired from all your play. a bit spent. And you don't have to really listen if you don't want to. The purpose of the old man reading the story is so that all the kids relax at the end of the day. Just like to invite you to simply do that. Listen to the voice. Notice the tone, pitch, rhythm, as if I was singing you a song. Listen to the silences too. You know there's a silent song in there. You don't have to concentrate. No need to concentrate on what I'm saying, because you know all of it already. Your mind drifts in and out. Just let it. Just like that 4-year-old gazing out the window of the nursery, noticing the leaves moving on the tree. And then I really will read you a story. I'll tell you a story. You ready? Once upon a time, long, long ago, far, far away. Or maybe not. Maybe it was just yesterday in the next village. But anyway, there was this old man sitting on a box on the corner of the street, and the sun was shining on his face, and the breeze was caressing his skin. And he was just sat there, quite contented. There was some noise because the marketplace was nearby, and people were buying and selling and calling out their calls and trading. And he was sitting quietly. The sun was warm and the breeze was caressing him on his box, saying nothing, with his hands cupped, this, waiting patiently for passers-by to drop a penny in. And he'd lived this way most of his adult life, on a box, waiting for a bit of money. Day after day, week after week, and he was used to it. He was okay with it. It was a nice day, and the sun was warm, and the breeze was stroking his skin. And a beautiful lady approached him, very smart lady with a nice upright posture. She walked up to him, smiling softly, and put her hand in her pocket and stopped. Said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have any coins today. I'm so sorry." The old man broke his trance and said, "Oh, well, that's okay. You've often been kind to me before. I'm sure you will be again. Thank you anyway. Have a good day." And he tried to go back into his trance where he was comfortable. The smart lady didn't move. She stayed there, looking at him, slowly tipping her head on one side. The man was very self-conscious and looked up at her and said, was there something?" "Well," said the lady, "since we're talking, never really talked before, have we?" The man thought, "No, you give me money, I say thank you." Hmm. And there was a silence. And the sun was warm and the wind was caressing his face. But he felt awkward and said, "So what did you want to talk about?" "Well," said the lady, "since we are talking, I've always wondered about you." "Oh," said the man, "there's nothing to wonder about me. What you see is what I am. I'm just an old beggar. That's it. Simple." "Hmm," the lady slightly furrowed her brow. "But can I ask you a question?" "Okay," said the man, "but I'm not interesting." "Well, what I want to know is, how did that happen? How did you become a beggar?" "Oh, that's an easy one," said the man. "I have nothing. I have no money. I have no family. I have no friends. I have no skills. I have no talents. I have no job. I have no contacts. Always been that way. So one day I tried begging and it kind of worked. So that's what I do. Really, said the lady, who was quite wealthy and quite happy and quite successful. She was a little puzzled. She slowly tipped her head onto the other side and said, really, nothing. Well, just the clothes you see me wearing. They were old and tatty and shoes had holes in. Hmm. What about the box you're sitting on? Said the lady with a sudden enthusiasm. Oh, kind of, kind of mine. Nobody takes it. Yeah. The lady slowly broke out into a broad grin, and she turned her beautiful head to the market stall people selling their wares to one side, and she called out in a very strong voice, and everybody stopped and listened. Said a very resonant voice. She said, "Excuse me, everyone. This man sitting on the box, does that box belong to him?" Oh, yeah. All the local people said, yeah, that's his box. We don't let anybody take it. He needs that to sit on. We even protect it for him when he's not here. That is definitely his box. She turned her head back to the old man and caught him stifling a smile. And noticed that his eyes were slightly wet. He'd been rather touched by the revelation that his neighbors were taking care of his box for him. And there was another silence. The man was getting a bit more comfortable with the lady's attention now. She spoke again. I wonder if there's anything inside it. Oh, I don't think so, said the man. It's really heavy, actually. It's probably full of rocks. I imagine some spiders, maybe a gecko if I'm lucky. Maybe, said the lady. And then a cheeky look came on her face and she bit her lip. Let's have a look. The old man didn't really want to move. He was creaky and tired and he was sitting there kind of comfortably in his old body. But of course, he didn't want to offend the lovely lady. So he creaked his old bones up and they worked at the box for a few minutes and eventually the lid just kind of flew off. And you've guessed it, you know the end of the story. It was full of gold and jewels, and everything in the box was his. He was the richest man in town, had been for a long time and didn't know it. Probably heard the story before in some form. I asked you to consider listening as a 4-year-old so that we could begin again, start over again together. This innocent realization and that deep wisdom that we each have inside us that knows the meaning of the story. This is what we do when we're not happy, we're looking on the outside for the treasure and forgetting that it's inside. So, as you know, what meditation is really about finding the real treasure on the inside of us. Because we're beginning again today, I have two pieces of good news for you. Your very educated minds will say, that's not news. I've known that one a long time. Your deep wisdom will go, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Humor me just for today. And listen as a 4-year-old. Two pieces of good news. First piece of good news is there is a treasure beyond measure, beauty beyond imagining, worth beyond count at the center of you, very center of you, and always has been. Second piece of good news. Oh, the second piece of good news. That is, well, you have a superpower. I have it too. That's how I can see you have it. Superpower is this. You can turn your attention wherever you choose, every single moment. So right now you can pay attention to my voice, you can pay attention to the story that I'm telling, or you can pay attention to the itch behind your ear, or the feeling of your toe wiggling. You can pay attention to the knowledge that we're being surrounded by galaxies that are spinning in space, in infinite, boundless space. You can turn your attention to stories, feelings, to the timeless, spacious eternity deep inside you. This is why we meditate, because we forget these two things. The real treasure is me, and I have a superpower. I can always direct my attention how I choose. When we combine these things, meditation increases the quality of our life enormously. So let's have a little play, if you will. Humor me further. My 4-year-old's on the little rug. We're going to play a game of shifting the attention just for the fun of it. So let's start with just paying attention to what we see, as if we've never seen anything before. Like a newborn, when they come out of the womb, they go, amazed. Like a visitor from another dimension where there is no colors and shapes. Never seen it before. The way artists endeavor to look, just to see the colors and shapes. As if we didn't know what anything was called, what anything was for. Notice afresh, like beginning again, colors and shape. 3D, it's in 3 dimensions, as if nothing else mattered. Just pretend that nothing else matters but seeing the colors and shapes, as if some divine being had sent these colors and shapes for our pure delight. All we had to do was see them and say, wow. Stare at the screen for a while, get the lights in your eyes, and then close the eyes. You can still see some blobs of color under the closed eyelids. Imagine this as a piece of art a dear young friend has sent you on the computer. They've produced some blobby colored art on the screen, and you love this young person, and you want to appreciate that art genuinely. So you enter into it like a young person, like has never seen colors and shapes before. Wow, look at those lovely colors and shapes. If nothing else mattered but just seeing that. Bring the attention back to sound. Hear the voice again and the silences. And any other noises that you could pick up. Maybe the computer hisses. Maybe there is some background ambient sound. Listen like it was music. Like the same young friend had forgotten to send you the soundtrack to go with their blobby art, and this is the soundtrack. Oh, that's interesting. A lot of quiet, just ordinary sounds. Listening to it like it was a work of art or a simple symphony. Just listening in this way, and choosing to use our attention, using our superpower, noticing something very simple. We can start to notice the divinity in it, even if we don't call it any such thing. And then there's the sense of touch. We can shift a touch and stroke the hands or stroke the face. Hold that dear face in your hands. As if nothing else mattered. And the sense of smell. Just breathe gently and smell the air. See if there's anything on it. Is there anything left from breakfast, from your shower? Any other smells around you can just about pick up? Maybe not. Maybe it's just air. And smell the neutrality of the air, the odorlessness of the air, as if somebody had held an exquisite rose up to your face and you're just breathing that smell in. The body likes to know that it's breathing fresh air, so bringing attention to it brings an immediate benefit to the nervous system. So simple. Imagine it was your first breath. And then there's the sense of taste. Let's shift the attention to taste. When we're not eating or drinking or feeling poorly, we rarely notice the taste in the mouth. Try that again now. Maybe there is a little smell, a little taste rather. Mine's always a bit tangy, I find. Quite nice. And the edges of the tongue taste different than the top of the tongue, different than the bottom of the tongue, different to the tip of the tongue. And also the insides of the cheeks are tasting. And then imagine for a moment that you've just sliced a juicy slice of lemon. You're about to pop it between your teeth and on your tongue. And just in the imagining of that, notice what else shifts in your experience in your mouth. Our imagination is so powerful. What we're imagining consciously or unconsciously, massive influence on our well-being. Then we have another sense. Let's shift our attention to the space around us in the room. With the eyes shut, we know there's a space. We have a spatial awareness. We use it to park the car and not bang our head on the door frame. Great sports people have highly attuned spatial awareness, but we all have it. Let the attention wander around in the airspace around you. Notice the airiness, the coolness, provided it is cool. It's probably cooler than your body. Let's play a bit more with this focus superpower. We've kind of expanded out a little bit now outside of the body and just relaxing the focus like you would dial back the lens on a camera. Let the focus spread out in all directions, taking your awareness of the space outside of the building, in the atmosphere. Notice how there's a kind of relaxation and expansion to that. Almost like you're getting bigger, expanding into the potentiality of your awareness. If you like it, go further, go outside of the atmosphere, out amongst the planets under the sun, into solar space, millions of miles in all directions. Just have the feeling of your attention just relaxing and expanding out and out and out. Even further, if you like, beyond the solar system, out amongst the stars into interstellar space, unfathomable distances of darkness filled and dotted with stars. Notice how it feels to let your attention relax its focus out and out, out, to take in the whole universe as you know it. That feeling of enormity, where your awareness holds the whole universe. And then just for fun, dive straight back into the body. Straight back in here. Feel it. Feel the warmth, the aliveness, the glow of the living body. The contrast between that focus in here and that expanded awareness out there. If you like, dive in and out into space, straight into the body, into space. You might feel yourself expanding and contracting like a jellyfish. And then after you've done that a few times, stay in the location of the body, but remember, as you all know, that the body is made up of 99.999999999% empty space, with just some very spaced out quantum particles vibrating, pretending to be a person. It's a great show they're putting on. And feel that spaciousness inside the body. It's the same space we were feeling on the outside. It's a single space. We can dive into the body and find the freedom of the whole universe. There are so many lovely places to rest our attention, just to have a break from our normal nagging thoughts. This is one of the things we can do with our superpower. Bring your attention into the mind now. And notice what it's saying. Is it talking to itself right now? Or is it being quiet? Mine talks quite a lot. And then I want you to, inside your head, hearing it in your mind's ear, using your inner voice, ask this question and then wait in the silence to see what you get. And the question is, I wonder what I'm going to think next. And some people might get another thought very quickly. Some might wait quite a while. Some might still be waiting. Notice that waiting space, that silent mind. We use our superpower to focus on what our mind is thinking inside. Firstly, we have the advantage of noticing that the listening itself is a silent mind and a perfect resting place for us to go. But secondly, we get to observe the mind and its thoughts. So much useful information there. We observe from the silence. Let's shift our attention again, this time to the aspect of mind that thinks in pictures. Imagine yourself sitting in a very comfortable movie theater seat, cinema seat for the Europeans. Warm, comfortable. In fact, the temperature is perfect. The seat is perfect. You can imagine friends on either side, if you like, but they're not talking. They're just with you in the quiet. And you're all looking at this dark screen, waiting for the movie to begin. This represents the part of your mind that thinks in pictures. Just look at the blank. And then deliberately create a picture from one side of the screen. Have something like a very long-legged cartoon pink giraffe in a purple hat on roller skates, dancing and skating in a very wobbly fashion across the screen until she disappears off the other side. And coming in the other direction, a cartoon lion with a bowler hat. He's doing roly-polies and giggling, and he's got very big eyes. He's roly-polying, is so pleased with himself that he can roly-poly. And he roly-polies off the other end of the screen, leaving it blank again. Consciously bringing our attention to our visual mind. So powerful and also great fun. We can deliberately produce pictures, and we can notice the pictures that we're producing involuntarily. Because again, they really influence our well-being. What are we actually imagining back there? I'd like you to shift your attention one more time with me. Thank you for your patience. This is my favorite one. Let's shift our attention back on itself now, paying attention to what's paying attention. What is that? Nothing there, right? Just attention, paying attention. There's nothing there. Pure awareness. It doesn't have a picture. It doesn't have words. It doesn't have a smell or a touch. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have a story. It's just awareness. Am I aware right now? Oh yes, I'm aware. Just this. And when we come to this, we notice But there's something here which is totally familiar. We have a tendency to not notice because it's so familiar. Like a fish noticing water. They're always in water. We're always aware. And you might notice there's a sense of, oh, this is me. This is what I am. I'm this awareness here, noticing this experience sitting here on the screen with this old guy chuntering on with his English accent. It's this, and I'm noticing it, and it's the same me that was noticing signing on to the computer half an hour ago, doing what I was doing an hour ago. It's the same me noticing when I was a teenager experiencing my first kiss, when I was a toddler experiencing my first lick of ice cream. It's the same me that was worrying, so worried in the dark on those bad nights. It's the same me that's been here through all these changing experiences. My body has changed, my thinking has changed, my feelings have changed, my perspective has changed. But it's always been me noticing it, just me. I like to call it plain old me. It's so plain it doesn't even have a face. And that's why it's so safe, so comfortable, so reliable. And what's amazing about it is not only is it just prosaic, ordinary, mundane, plain old me, but it's the awareness that holds my whole frigging universe and all the potentialities within it. It's the grandest and the smallest at the same time. It's the most ordinary and the most spectacular simultaneously. So it has this aspect of being very ordinary and very safe. This aspect of being the most powerful thing. It's just my awareness. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, this is the golden treasure at the center of you. It's your untouchable awareness. It's eternal. It is truly sacred, not man-made sacred, not thou shalt not touch on pain of having your hands chopped off. It's try as you might, nobody can touch this. It's truly sacred. It's what you are. The golden treasure at the center of you. Nothing is more valuable than that. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody can tarnish it or scratch it or sully it. It's always pristine, and it's you. For me, one of the main purposes of meditation is to keep remembering this so that I can live my life from this deep, beautiful, untouchable truth. It doesn't need defending, it's untouchable. That's my story. Thank you very much for indulging me for half an hour. I love sharing it because it brings me back to it every time. I start over every single time. Oh, and by the way, if you want a takeaway menu, there's one item on the takeaway menu. Delicious item. The delicious item is this. Whenever it occurs to you, stop and ask yourself the question, am I aware? Is it the same awareness? Just notice it for a few seconds every time it occurs to you to do that. And if you're like me, doing that regularly takes no time out of your day because you would have just been circling a thought in that moment you've already had. It brings a basis to powerful meditation practice. Just 3 or 4 seconds. Am I aware? Oh, yeah. Is it the same awareness? Oh, yeah. Can I rest here for a second? Oh, yeah. That's it. Carry on with your day. It's a takeaway menu. It's not homework. Just if you think it might be tasty. Thank you. I am finished.
So taking your time, coming out of the practice slowly, not losing the awareness of your awareness. Thank you, Terry, for being here and sharing that journey with us. I'm still the 4-year-old on the floor in the kindergarten. Thank you for being here and sharing your wisdom and practice and stories and guidance.
Thank you.
Really beautiful. Well, what we do now is we stop recording and invite questions or comments, and most people are still out to the spaceless, timeless realm. But for those of you who want to hang out and ask Terry a few questions or share your experience, or if you're listening to this as a recording, you can put it in the chat.
Oh, look, we have Romanians too. That's so exciting. Bucharest.
That's right.
There once briefly.
Yeah.